41-pounder. Mark Wynn, the sophomore redshirt from Kent State, he's 13-4 this year, and he's going to be a heavy favorite in this bout.
I used to come down to St. Simon's Island. And it's this magical little island. But I just felt every island needs a glassblower. And I just kind of devoted my life to making it down here to blow glass. But I learned everything happens for a reason. It took me a long time to learn and let go, just like I did wrestling. It's not forever, and it might not be the final thing. I had a hard Ohio upbringing, hard work. I grew up in a construction family. Every one of my uncles did every part of the trade. They started working me pretty young. And I spent 15 years dedicating my life to wrestling. I started probably when I was 13, and it was really just to get a scholarship to go to university. It's a pretty crazy sport, you know. I was always in the spotlight in the newspaper. You know, you had a lot of supporters, but you had a lot of haters because they want to see you fail, or your neighboring cities, you know, you're always beating their kids. Glassblowing is like an athletic craft. It was real similar to my wrestling matches. Because wrestling, you had to be obsessive to be good. Always kind of visualizing the matches before you do it.
Boy, very close to the big move there. Very close.
And glassblowing is the same way. You gotta know what you're doing before. You gotta like have all your tools ready. You gotta learn to like let go. It's in the moment. And if you get distracted, you're gonna lose. You know, the piece or the match. One bad mistake and you could be winning a match by 10 points. You get pinned in the last second. In glass, you could have this $1,000 piece, 10,000, whatever it is, and hits the door and it falls to the ground. Squeeze this to your arm. Yeah. Yeah, now arch your butt. Yeah, yeah, just like that. That's how you break the arm. Do it again. I definitely was a good wrestler because I felt my father was watching me at every moment. I didn't know much about my father, but I knew he wrestled. So I think me and my brother wanted to follow in his footsteps. Having trauma as a young child is pretty intense. So witnessing the death of my father with my brother at age 5 pretty much set the tone for my whole life. Seeing it definitely impacted me tremendously. Every day I probably think about it. And for a while I would pushed it to the limits in extreme sports, and I didn't really care about dying, and I just felt I'd really do crazy stuff. I never cared about dying or even worried about it. And then when I had my daughters, I saw what I missed out in my father, and I just wanted to relive it through my daughters. definitely trying to, not just work and lose their whole childhood. I try to take every day and teach them stuff and really kind of put them in my life scenario. I try to take every day as it's, could be the last. So I hung my shoes up wrestling. I think it took me 6 years to save up to build a studio. And then I finally told my wife we're moving. And then I made my artist journey and I left my hometown. I was here about a month, had my grand opening, and the night before I got hit by a car and broke my wrist and elbow, and I was stuck here. So I was pretty busted up. I had pins and screws. It was the worst injury for a glassblower. It was my left wrist. No matter what hand you use, you always use your left hand as a glassblower to hold the weight. So I pretty much couldn't blow glass for probably 2 years. I didn't want to go back to Ohio. I wanted to prevail my goals and dream of being an artist. I had to figure out other ways to make art, but I always had other skills. And I started using plate glass and more kiln forming. I got more into welding and steel, which that introduced me to large scale and being able to make public works. But it really took a car hitting me to tell me and make me take 2 years off. Yeah, to give up glass, I couldn't do it. And I probably should have gave it up for life because it still kind of hurts. I have to really take it easy. But glass is just so luxurious and cool that I just always want to do that. Any piece I do, I try to incorporate an element of glass. I'm starting to see my whole life is kind of playing out and preparing me for something bigger than I could even imagine, I guess. My construction background, along with my wrestling and just knowledge of all the tools, I feel I haven't even touched the surface of what I can make.